Hey, up next on the Marmy Rock Show, I am very, very excited to have Terry Ilous with us. And if somehow you've been living under a rock and aren't familiar with Terry, he's, of course, the vocalist for Great White and a legendary band XYZ. Terry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Rocky.
So, man, very interesting what you've got going on. There's a new release, the April 28th release date, so at the time we're talking, it's already out, entitled Jessi Dreams. And it's a little different. Right. Tell folks about it.
Well, it's a combination of classic rock songs, well-known classic rock songs, and we added a little twist to that by adding a bit of Latin and flamenco flavor to add to that.
So, I saw the little trailer, and it's a fascinating concept. What gave you the idea to release this record?
Well, Rocky, I was born in Europe, and my parents used to take me to flamenco events. When as a kid, we used to go to Spain all the time, Barcelona, and I used to watch those flamenco dancers and flamenco musicians as well, and I fell in love with the music. My dad himself was from Spain, and my dad was a guitar player, and he imbued me with a love of that type of music. So I've always loved that type of things. And then when it was time to become professional, I guess, so I went into the rock and roll world, of course. But I've always had a little thing for flamenco, and about 5 years ago, I met some great musicians on a cruise who were doing a Masters of Rock cruise, and some of my friends were playing there, Ben Woods and Luis Villegas and somebody else, and they were playing, and Mike Bennett. They were playing, and I watched them play. I said, "This is fantastic." I said, "They were playing flamenco, And I said, "Why don't we do a song together?" So they said, "A song with a singer, really?" I said, "Yeah, with a singer." So I came up with the idea of doing Heaven and Hell, and we did it, and we played it live in front of the fans. And the fans actually were very surprised, and the reaction was really, really good. So I told the guys, "Why don't we do an album?" But at the time I was touring a lot with Great White. They were busy, so it took some time to put the thing together. But now we're here, and it's just got released.
Now, I believe I was on that very cruise. Are you the band? Did they kind of have a little? I don't know if it was real name. But that's a band that was going by Heavy Mellow when they were on the ship.
Yeah, that was actually Ben Woods. Ben Woods project with Luis Villegas and Mike Bennett. But the very first show I've done with them was actually on the Masters of Rock cruise 5 years ago. We did one song together, and again, the reaction was really, really good. So I wanted to do an album, and it just took 5 years to put it together.
So who are some of the other musicians playing on it? I know there's a female vocalist. Who else joined you on the record?
Well, Jose Garcia is a wonderful guitar player, singer, great guy to have around. Miguel Paganini, bass player, well-known session player. Chris Trujillo, who's played with Toto and so many players. I mean, Shaka Khan and who else? The Black Crowes. I mean, he's a very well-known percussionist. Who else? Al Velasquez, who played with Michael McDonald and Benice, and all those artists are very, very well-known and very well appreciated.
So what was the selection process of the songs? Because I heard on the preview video you gave out, it's kind of a wide variety of selections.
Well, I believe that Heaven and Hell was a no-brainer. I've always loved that song. From the moment I picked up my guitar and started jamming, I said, "Oh, this is it." And Luis Villegas said to me, "Oh, yeah, we can make it work." So that song was a no-brainer. Zeppelin is a no-brainer also, because if you really listen to Led Zeppelin, they're really prone to bringing that flamenco, Middle Eastern blues vibe at the same time. If you really listen to songs like Kashmir and all those classic, they use a lot of minor chords and things, and it's really prone to that Middle Eastern / flamenco vibe. So those as definitely a part of the project, but also some other songs like the Don Henley track, Boys of Summer. What else? Why did I choose that track? Well, I remember when I was a kid in Spain, I fell in love with this girl. And I was a kid, and I fell in love with her, and nothing happened. Believe me, I tried so hard, but she didn't care much for me, that's for sure. She was from Sweden, actually, a beautiful girl, much taller than I, and the problem. That could have been the problem, right?
Oh,
But,
wow.
yeah, Swedish girls are very tall. But anyway, it didn't happen. So when I watched his video in the 80s, Don Henley's video, Boys of Summer, I reminded me of my childhood. I said, oh, it reminds me of that song. Oh, yeah. So when it was time to redo some of the songs, the classic, I said, well, why don't we try that particular one? And Louis said, why? I said, it reminds me of my vacation in Spain. So...
So, I'm just curious. I know you're a guitar player. Can you play flamenco guitar yourself, or is that hard to transition between rock and that style guitar?
Well, no, I cannot play that style. I cannot play that style at all. I'm a guitar player, but nothing like those guys I'm playing with. They are Spanish. I would say more Spanish guitar players than flamenco. Flamenco is a very specific technique. They do have the technique, but they specialize in the Latin style, the Spanish style. And no, I cannot play like those guys. It's really, really difficult, and I don't have the patience nor the time to do it, and maybe nor the ability also. I don't know, but let's be honest. But I hired some great people around myself. I do believe in the teamwork. I do believe that you need to have great people around yourself in order to go somewhere. You can't just do it by yourself, and I've chosen wisely, and I'm very happy with my team.
So, speaking of being surrounded by great people, I've had the pleasure of sailing with you on several, at least, Monsters of Rock cruises.
Sure.
And that experience, you're surrounded by really the die-hard fans of that genre of music. Can you talk about your take on the cruise and your experience?
Well, the cruise is a great thing. Larry Morin, who put the cruise together along with some other people, did a great job. It's a great thing to be able to meet the fans, and for the fans to be able to meet the musicians that they really like. Things have changed from the 80s, 70s to nowadays. Back then, you had the stigma of the rock star, where you would think of someone and see him on TV. You would say, "Oh my God, I wish I could talk to him." Well, now with the internet, things have changed. Everybody's approachable, much more approachable. So you can meet the president of the United States if you want to. You can go to one of his dinner and pay $10,000 or $20,000 and meet the president. So everything has changed. Everything is which is great. I think it's great. It's more personal.
I'll tell you one of the personal and coolest things I think you did when you did the Shotgun Willys video. You made my cruise because we sent you in some video, and to be able to see you using some stuff we shot, and then to see ourselves in a Great White video was so cool. What made you think of that?
Well, thank you. Rocky, without the fans, I wouldn't be here today. And it's the truth. You can be the best musician in the world. You can have the best songs in the world. But if you don't have an audience to play it to, if you don't have the fans to say, yeah, I like it, I want to hear another one, then basically you're going to have the best song in the world nobody's going to hear. So for me, Shotgun was a little tribute to the fans. I said to myself, I want to thank the fans, and it would be so cool, instead of featuring the band, it would be so cool to feature the fans. So I was on the cruise, and I had a little camera, and I was filming the fans, asking them questions. Said, "Hey, do you want to be in my video?" Everybody was yeah, smiling and laughing and dancing. And I said, "Yeah, let me put a little thing together." And then when I posted the thing online, when Great White, actually, not myself, but when Great White actually posted the the song online, the fans were really happy and surprised. They said, "Oh my God, this is so cool to be able to see ourselves." And it's a big moment for them. We reversed the roles. Instead of featuring the band, we featured the fans, and I think it was a great thing.
It was so special for us, and to be able to go to your friends and say, "Hey, I'm in a Great White video, man." Who else gets to say that?
I mean, this is gonna last forever. I mean, this is a very big moment for a fan. I'm a fan of a lot of bands, a lot of artists, and if that would happen to me, I'd be happy to if Robert Plant would come to me and said, "Hey, do you want to be my video?" I would say, "Damn right." So I just try to put myself in the fans' shoes. You know what I mean? What would I like to see? What is it that, and that's what I did. I came up with a little concept.
Hey, I got one more question before we let you go here, and I'll talk about the album one more time for everybody so they know where to find it. I was at M3 one year when both Great White and XYZ were playing, and I thought, gosh, he's having a tough day to have to go do that. How hard was that to play with? Because they were pretty close together, I think.
Yeah, it's not tough at all. I mean, I don't mean that in a pretentious way, by the way. I'm not a pretentious person. I'm actually, I don't want to stay humble. I don't mean tough at all. It's just you do your show, you give it all, and then you go and do another show, and you give it all again. It's just like having sex with two different women. It's not a problem. It's like you get inspired twice. It's like, oh, she looks different. Okay, I get it.
Well, it was a blast for me seeing both sets. I probably ran over there as fast as you did to get from one stage to the other. But hey, I've had a great time talking to you, man. And I tell you, for fans, you've always been so nice whenever we've met you at a show, and so willing to talk to us, just like you are now.
Thank you.
And I want to let folks know the album is Jessi Dreams, and at the airing of the show, it's out right now, and it's a very unique take on some classic rock tunes. So go out there, check it out, and pick that one up. And Terry, man, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for your help and your support. It's again, without the fans and without people like yourself, there would be no music. I mean, I really mean that. I mean, it's not trying to be it's just the truth. Without people like yourself and the fans, what am I going to do? So.
Hey, man, we appreciate you being on the show. So thanks a lot, man.